on the front row. Row number 2, Bobby Hamilton Jr. and Dave Blaney. 75,000 seats. All sold out for today's race. It's the Tropicana Twister 300 for the NASCAR Busch Series coming down to the start. Michael Waltrip, 99 cars, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6th place right now. Casey Mears leads Bobby Hamilton Jr. to 2nd on the initial break. It's Dave Blaney in that 31 car settling into 3rd. Then Johnny Sauter, who started on the outside of the front row, maybe decided to use a little discretion in those first couple of corners and sliding back to 4th before he could get to that bottom lane.
Yes, he was. He decided he would not tempt fate and go on the outside. When he did not get the jump on the leader, you would see a battle for the lead as Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 25 is alongside. No, has to back up.
19's a Dodge, 25's a Ford. Hamilton Jr. in that 25, his name came off a lot of lips in the garage area this morning as a guy to watch for the checkered flag today. It's kind of a home track for this 25 team. The team owned principally by Ed Rensi, the former chief executive officer of McDonald's North America. Lives just up the road from here in Downers Grove, Illinois, about a 40-minute ride from the racetrack.
Looks like Hamilton's getting to the middle of the corner a little bit better than the car of Casey Mears. And Casey slid up the racetrack a little bit getting out before.
Trouble. Cars into the grass in the backstretch, some into the wall.
Oh, wow.
That's Kerry Earnhardt.
And wow, what a tremendous blow that Earnhardt has taken to the driver's side.
Caution flag is out. You see Kerry taking off the steering wheel inside the car. That's great news.
That is terrific news, because when you see something as bad as that hit to the driver's door, wow, that's a pretty big shot.
All right, let's sort it out.
Never see Earnhardt in the 12 car spinning off the corner. Don't know what might have caused it, but someone is going to, oh, right there, the
Ashton Lewis.
Ashton Lewis in 46.
No place to go.
Michael Waltrip is struggling on those restarts.
I wish that happened to him earlier.
Yeah. Oh, 3 wide. Now, come on, guys.
Easy.
Oh,
Michael's car just doesn't seem to go on those restarts.
Tony Raines in 33, Matt Kenseth in 7. This would be for 6th place. And while we watch this, let's check with Matt Yoakum.
Alan, Ashton Lewis walked out. You gave me the okay sign, so you're okay, but what happened, Ashton?
I'm not sure. They were started wrecking in front of me. We went low to try to miss it, and Kerry came back across the racetrack. That was my main concern. I was all right, but it was an extremely hard impact, and I saw trying to hit Kerry right in front of the driver's door, and that scared me. So I hear he's okay. He walked out of the car, so that's the good news. I mean, that's all that matters. It's not about anything else other than Kerry's all right. So.
What was that? What was that all about?
That time, guys.
My guess is that someone ran in the back of Gunsman when he backed off in the corner and spun him.
Paul Menard in the 55 crashed, bringing out the caution flag. Larry Gunselman in the 16 has gotten it on both ends of that car.
Or did he get in some fluid?
Well, that could be.
Hornaday is going to get Michael down on the inside. That's Michael way up high. Meantime, 2nd place, Casey Mears, Johnny Sauter. Mears gets by.
Dave Blaney down there taking a look.
While we watch the field race down into turn 3, Larry Gunselman, involved in that hard crash a second ago, is with Matt down at the medical center.
Well, you walked out saying you're okay. What happened?
Well, somebody got into the wall up in front of me up there in turn 2, and everyone was sticking up. And I was slowing down, and somebody ran in the back of me and turned me around, and ended up turning around, backing it in the wall, and then Paul Menard comes flying in there also, and thought he was going to try to climb inside the car. Everybody is in there, seems to be all right, so these guys aren't using a lot of common sense out there today in an awful fast racetrack, and it's just unfortunate. We thought that we were going to have a good finish today in the Waterloo Tool Storage Chevrolet, and it's just real disappointing. Thanks, Larry. Alan?
Larry's probably going to have a little different opinion of what
Yeah,
happened.
I don't know which...
That's understandable. I'm sure he hasn't seen it yet. David Ruderman, 87, Chapel Hill, Florida youngster. Talked about him earlier at the top of the broadcast. Going to pick up the spot from Johnny Sauter, 4th place.
It looks like the guys that have their
cars working down on the bottom off the 2 are making the passes off the 2.
to being able to drive underneath the guys. A lot of these guys are sliding their nose from the middle up. And that's what David just got on the 21 car.
Ruderman's a 33-year-old. He's a second-generation driver. His dad was just a legend in modified racing throughout the Northeast in Florida. David coming up the NASCAR ladder. His Hills Brothers sponsorship on his car. Hills Brothers sponsored one of the NASCAR Regional Touring Series a year ago that David was one of the top threats to win in and sort of earned his way into this ride, Matty, to get a shot at moving up the ladder.
Well, he has today and Michigan to showcase his talent to try to lock in something for next year. And I'm told this morning, Brian Patty said that next week at Pocono, David will drive the Morgan McClure team car in a test. If all goes well, he may compete with that team later this year.
The Winston Cup team, the 4 car. Wow.
Good opportunity there.
That's great. That's pretty strong.
74 car there. That's not 74, 33 car. Tony Raines. Yeah, he's in the 74 car, Cup car.
You're on his Winston Cup number. Back up a day. You'll be okay.
He's creeping up there.
And Michael Walter, that dark car right behind Tony Raines, is running higher than anybody on the racetrack. Watch this. He might try to make a pass in that outside line. If he does, I'm going to say hooray. Look at this. He's up in no man's land trying to go somewhere. But that's a Michael Walter groove at high lane.
He'll get up there and dust it off.
Oh, yes.
These two racing for 6th and 7th spots right now.
But wouldn't it be terrific if he could pull this pass off running the outside groove?
Well, he caught him running the outside groove, so obviously there is a groove there that's working for him.
Check it out.
Yep.
Check it out. Go, Mikey. Oh, I love it.
Well, that's great.
That's terrific.
A second lane on the racetrack means more passing, means more fun in these NASCAR races here at Chicagoland. Bobby Hamilton Jr. is out in front by 4.5 seconds. Wow.
Welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway NASCAR Busch Series Racing, presented by Midas. Just turned 55 laps on the board, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. is having a great run here. He's led all but 2 laps so far this afternoon. We're closing in on the first round of what could be green flag pit stops in this Busch Series race. We're down on the wagon right outside of Victory Lane, where the winner will celebrate after this 200-lap, 300-mile event. And I'm joined by Winston Cup star Jeff Burton, who finished 3rd in this race a year ago, starts 27th tomorrow in the Tropicana 400. What have you seen so far in this race?
Well, that car right there is really
Very fast.
That's the fast car. You know, I tell you, he's really fast, obviously. Michael's got that outside groove working. It's not working as good as the bottom, but it is working, and that's a great sign for tomorrow. Matt Kenseth is starting to, still a little bit off of Hamilton, but he's hanging in there. Pit stop's going to be really, really important here. Who tunes that car the best? There's some guys that still have a shot at him, but if the 25 were to get better, he'd be real hard to beat.
What about the tire situation here, Jeff? I know a lot of you guys in the Winston Cup garage scuff tires. Did you guys do that?
We scuff tires. I think every team scuff tires. The only reason we scuff them is because they drive better with some laps on them. When they're new, they darted around, they're loose, they just don't feel real good when they're new. So it wasn't a matter of making them live longer or anything like that. It was just a matter of making them feel better when you first put them on.
Will these tires last? Will we see any 2-tire stops here, do you think?
I don't think you'll see 2-tire stops under green. You'll certainly see some 2-tire stops under a short caution. It's always worth a gamble. Somebody that doesn't have a whole lot to lose in track position will come in and put on 2 and then hope for a quick caution, and then they gain their track position. So you'll certainly see that under some short cautions. I don't think you'll see it right here under this long green, though.
Plus, these guys will need a full load of fuel, so they'll need the time for that. So you might as well hold
exactly.
on.
You're going to put fuel in it, you might as well put 4 tires on it.
New track record here for Tony Stewart and Winston Cup qualifying, but right now the 87 slowing and heading for pit road, and we can watch from here.
Billy's off the pace of the backstretch, 4th place car.
apparently not under power at this time. I wonder if he could have possibly run out of fuel.
I guess it's a possibility.
There's something leaking underneath the bottom of that car. I don't know what's coming out, but go ahead, Matt.
Wally, I just spoke with Brian Patty. He said one word: motor.
Yeah, there's something pouring out right there. You see behind the tire. That's not too good. That's probably the water overflow. Joe Nemechek in the center of the picture, the blue shirt, having a little sandwich. That's the owner of this car.
Obviously problems for that 87 car. Talk a little bit, Jeff, about the speed at this racetrack, because it's so fast here.
This is a really fast racetrack, you know, but the track isn't holding the speed like it has in the past.
Okay.
There is fall off, where in the past you could come here and you run the same speed over and over and over and over. Now there's some drop off, and I think that's why you're seeing the outside groove starting to come in, because the inside doesn't just have gobs of grip. As the speeds fall off, drivers will start searching around and looking for different grooves, and I think that's a good thing. But this is an extremely fast racetrack for the size of racetrack. There's a tremendous amount of grip, but again, there is some fall off in the tires, where in the years past there was really hardly any fall off at all.
You're not racing today. You will be racing next weekend in the Busch Series.
Yeah, real excited to get back in the Busch car. SKF and CR have been an associate sponsor with us for a long time on the Winston Cup car. They're going to come and be the major for us next week. And what we did was we took the 60 car, took as many guys that we could keep on staff. We kept all those guys, and we're just going to try to run a lot of races toward the second half of the year. And real excited about that. I love Busch racing. I think it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of respect for what the Busch Series does for Winston Cup wannabes, and also for people that want to get a start and get on national television. There's no better place to do it right here. And so if you want to be in Winston Cup, this is where you want to be. And I just love the series. I love the sport. And to have the opportunity to do it next week, I'm really looking forward to it.
Inside of about 5 laps now before the leaders will head to pit road. Caution on the track.
Caution is out. Got some oil and debris has been dropped on the racetrack, it looks like, and we're going to see the caution for the 3rd time in the race.
That car blow up there, getting into one, it looked like.
Looks like 49 of Derek Cope.
Yes, it is.
But they were also, there are a lot of radio traffic just seconds before that between the control tower and NASCAR spotters in turns 1 and 2 about, did Ruderman's car leave any oil there also, because there's a trail from where he turned into the garage. So they were looking to see if there was any oil there, and then the 49 went and put some down too. So caution's out just in time to save the green flag pit stops.
And Jeff, as a driver, Bobby Hamilton had to hate to see this caution plate come out.
No, but Scott Wimmer sure did like it. You know, where there's a winner, there's a loser. And you know, I can see Bobby Hamilton really raced Wimmer back to the line. He was trying to put as many guys a lap down as he could. I heard his interview a little bit ago. He said he wants to bury everybody that he can, and you know, getting those guys a lap down. And here you can see right here, Todd Bodine's not very happy with him. He didn't let him have his lap back, but hey, man, that's where we are. You got to do what you got to do, and Bobby felt like that was the best thing for him.
So there's no gentleman's agreement in this sport, is there?
You know, it's a whole lot less today than it was 5 years ago, and you know, take that for whatever you want. But there's less gentleman's agreement today, and there's less of that's good than it was a few years ago, and that's an unfortunate thing.
Well, here comes the field down pit road. Let's start with Matt.
Indian file down pit road. Matt Kenseth, this race car was extremely tight earlier. The pressures came up. The car's still tight. An air pressure adjustment. Half a pound out of both left side tires. To Marty.
Johnny Sauter's car, very tight. Matt started 2nd, running 5th right now. A host of changes. A rubber in the right rear, up on the track bar, a pound in the right rear tire. Dave?
For Bobby Hamilton Jr., just a very slight chassis adjustment. He's a little tight in the center of the corner. They wanted a whole turn, then they said, no, make it a half. 4 tires, fuel. Hamilton is gone.
And looks like he's going to win that race off pit road. And Blaney, is he going to be next? No, it's Mears, then Blaney.
Brian Vickers, Mike Bliss, then Johnny Sauter. Matt Kenseth is going to come out about 3, 6, 7th or 8th in line. Camera at the scoring line and pit out. How about this race for 2nd?
It's Mears. Yes.
Todd Bodine, the first car to the inside of race leader Bobby Hamilton. Remember, we talked about he wasn't happy with Hamilton coming back after the caution flag. Let's see how they play nicely or not nicely into turn 1.
Green, green, green.
If Todd even gets a chance.
No, he did not. And that's going to be a pretty big break there for Bobby Hamilton, because now he's got clear racetrack. Casey Mears and everybody else has to get through all these slower cars, or lap down cars.
Kansas, thought about going down to turn 1, 3 wide, decided not to do it.
You know, you probably don't get to be the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship leader by not making good decisions in those instances.
Yeah, that's true. You have to finish.
Todd Bodine trying to put some pressure on Hamilton Jr.
He really is. He's running pretty doggone well right now. We might see Hamilton Jr. fast.
Bodine, the first car 1 lap down in 19th spot. And behind him, little hornet's nest here. With some lap cars mixed in and among a race for 6th position on down. 21 car Johnny Sauter is on the lead lap. 33 Tony Raines, 17 Matt Kenseth. They're on the lead lap in that group. And so isn't the 20 car Mike Bliss. In fact, Bliss just gave up a couple of spots that lap to Sauter and Raines. Oh, Mike Wallace, hang on. 4 car.
I don't know if Mike got down in the corner a little bit too hard, or there was contact that caused the car to get loose and drift up the racetrack.
Mike's now back in 23rd spot. The 5th car, 1 lap down. Matt Kenseth's just picking up another spot. Just went around Mike Bliss.
How about it, Matt? It was a 20.4-second pit stop for Matt Kenseth. Cully, what happened on the stop?
Well, he's having a little trouble with the footwork between the brake and the clutch pedals. We'll have to figure it out when we get back to the shop, but there's something there that's not to his liking. We just got to get it fixed.
You can see the car rotated about 2.5 to 3 feet in the pit box. Russ Strupp, the jack man, was barely hanging on to the jack. That's why they lost all that time.
What if the pedals were too close?
Evidently, when he depressed the brakes,
They went that close. See, when I drove a sister car to that car in Kentucky, when I got fitted for the car, I had to have them move the pedals because the brake pedal and the clutch pedal were too close, and I needed to get the clutch pedal way over to the left, so I had some room.
Jeff, he's talking about the footwork a driver goes through on the pit stop when the car is being shifted from right side to left as far as the jack.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe Wally screwed that car up. I could. You know, it really is important. Everything's important in the pit stop. It's not, all the emphasis gets put on the guys putting the tires on and jacking the car up. But if you let go of the clutch and the wheel spins, or if you miss a pit box, all those things have a play in how good of a pit stop is. And if you get your feet, or you can't what they call heel and toe during a pit stop, then it's really difficult to get your rhythm going, to keep the RPMs up in the engine so you don't stall it. So all that stuff's real important. If the wheels are rotating when they're trying to get the hub's rotating while they're trying to get the wheel up on the hub, then they can't get it on there. And all that stuff has a huge factor in how good of a pit stop you have, more so than just hitting lug nuts.
Up to 14th in points, second last week at Daytona, your best finish of the season. Are you guys headed in the right direction now? Jeff, I know you've been frustrated with some of your performances this year.
We're certainly headed there. I'm not going to say that we're there. I don't think that we have the performance that we need to be a team that we're capable of being, but we are headed in that right direction. There's days it seems like it's not coming quick enough, but at the same time, we're working really hard. We were at Milwaukee last week testing and had a great test, and we got a problem here with Stanton Barrett.
91 of Stanton Barrett off the pace, Alan.
Yeah, caution's out, Bill. Might have had an engine expire, some debris out from under that car, and we're going to see the caution flag for a 4th time in this race. Yeah, he spent some time back in the garage area. He's 33 laps down, so whatever the initial problem that put him behind the wall, it's gotten a lot worse.
They were not able to fix it in 33 laps, right? And Todd Bodine is still not being able to get back in the lead lap. Bill?
Well, Jeff, just want to thank you for coming by. Wish you good luck tomorrow, and we'll see you next Saturday in the Busch Series race. That Cup race tomorrow should be something.
I think it's going to be really interesting. I think you were seeing today that the second groove is an option, and the longer the race goes, the more options you'll have on getting up in that second groove. And I think it's going to be a really exciting race, something that that you'll think about years from now, because there are a lot of competitive cars. And when you have a lot of competitive cars and a racetrack that you can run a lot of different grooves, you can expect a good race.
Best of luck. Thanks for coming by.
Much.
Jeff Burton. We're under caution here at the Chicagoland Speedway.
Sorry, didn't. On the tires, it looked like. As a matter of fact, if we could go back and show a replay of the last restart, it'd be almost exactly like that one.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. is the race leader. Casey Mears is second. Dave Blaney third. Ryan Vickers up to fourth. And Johnny Sauter's fifth. To the top 10 are Matt Kenseth, Tony Raines, Mike Bliss, Michael Waltrip, and David Green. 18 cars on the lead lap at this point. Bobby Hamilton Jr. has led 78 of the 80, now 79 of the 81 laps that have been run so far today. Okay, that wasn't an ooh-ooh.
That wasn't an ooh-ooh, but it was almost. And Kenseth going by Vickers, trying to get by him. Looks like he's going to be able to, but there he has Mike Wallace, the lap car of Mike Wallace, the 4 in front of him.
As Dave Blaney, Kenseth is challenging for third spot.
And gets by both of them. Oh, I'm glad the spotter on the 31 car told him that the 5 car was looking inside of him.
Brian Vickers in the 5 car. I was going to say this kid, Brian Vickers, and then I stopped myself, but you know, he is. He's 19 years old. He's a year out of graduating from high school. 3-time national karting champion. He's got 5 straight top 10 finishes. He and this Hendrick team have really hit their stride. They're going to win one of these things, and they're going to win very soon.
Talking to the crew in the garage here this morning, and they were very optimistic about their chances today. I don't think they obviously knew that the 25 car, Bobby Hamilton Jr., was going to be this strong.
Now Tony Raines working inside of Dave Blaney. That's for 5th position. Raines in the yellow 33. Spot. So Blaney's car not behaving as well here after we've gone back racing as it had been before. 99 Michael Waltrip in the mix to challenge. 21 Johnny Sauter, also a lead lap car. And the blue and green machine just to the right of the picture is David Green, one of the championship contenders. Second in points coming into the race. Only 2 points behind Scott Riggs. Haven't called Casey Kane's name much today. The black 38 there. He's just moved into the top 10. Aside of him missing that early wreck involving Kerry Earnhardt and Ashton Lewis.
We're on board now with Shane Meal. And there's Jamie McMurray up high on the racetrack, and Jason Killer going by. Hornaday trying to go by. That's a battle for, let's see, about 13th.
Jamie, I told you about that high lane. You should have been there earlier.
On board with Ron Hornaday.
Listen to the accelerator on Hornaday's car. Couldn't tell when he was able to get right back to the mat on the car.
Yeah. Pretty smooth.
All these cars lined up here, all racing for a spot with the exception of that yellow 48. Shane Meal is lapped down in 22nd. All the others in this little group all on the lead lap. Including 34 Mike McLaughlin and 27 Joey Clanton that you saw there. This is 5th and 6th place. Tony Raines, Michael Waltrip, 33 and 99 respectively.
Those 2 guys have been together all day, the 33 and 99.
That's one of those days drivers, you know, you race around somebody all day, you pull into the garage, you pop the belts at the end of the day, you get out, and it's like you walk toward each other and just laugh about it.
And unfortunately, it would be great if they were just battling for the lead, but unfortunately, it's for 5th position.
Tony Raines, 39 years old, Laporte, Indiana, his hometown, the 99 NASCAR Busch Series Rookie of the Year. Listen to his record in the Busch Series this year. He's run 6 races. He's not finished 4, almost all due to mechanical failures. The others that he's finished, he's resulted in 2nd and 3rd place postings. So if he can see the checkered flag, excuse me, he'll be there somewhere up front.
That's a pretty doggone good record. Right now, Michael Waltrip has blown by him on the outside, and Tony is just, looks like he's afraid to get on the top of the racetrack to pass Mike Wallace. It's okay up there, Tony. Michael showed you it's okay. Okay, he's going to do it on the bottom.
Yeah, his car, I think he likes his car working on the bottom a little bit better.
See our race recap coming through at the top of the screen under the ticker. Had 4 caution flags, couple of crashes in this one. Update on the drivers that we had so far. Kerry Earnhardt was transported to a local hospital for further evaluation, although he was conscious and in stable and alert condition. All the other drivers involved have been treated and released from the infield medical center. 18 cars on the lead lap. Joey Clanton in 18th place, the last one. Now these cars from Todd Bodine in 19th on down, all 1 lap or more behind. And a heavy attrition rate in this race also. 31 of the 43 starters running. Everybody else in the garage and out. And we haven't seen this guy in a while, but that's because he's sort of in his own area code.
Right now has a little over 5-second lead on Casey Mears.
He's in the 815 area code. Everybody else is still up at 312 trying to get out and get down here. There's 2nd place Casey Mears, the 2nd car in that line.
Todd Bodine, the 1st car.
Like Todd Bodine's got a fast race car, just a lap down.
And there's Matt Kenseth, 3rd place machine, 6.05 seconds behind the leader.
There's Casey Kane, 38 car. Mike Bliss in 20. Battle for the 10th position.
And Jason Keller now, one of those guys who stopped on that last caution. A little bit fresher tires. Can go a lot farther on fuel if we see a long green flag run here.
He's not sure who he wants to go with yet.
He's trying to figure that out.
I go up there and follow Casey.
Casey Kane been doing a great job in that 38 car. Last year driving for Robert Yates in a startup NASCAR Busch Series effort. Casey, kind of our Ford Motor Company's development program, really didn't fare all that well. A lot of crashes, a lot of struggles, but boy, the lights come on this year. This kid's going to be good.
And I asked him that question down in the garage area. Casey, what's the difference in last year and this year? And he said, I just feel like that I've got more time in these cars. I've got some experience on these racetracks, and I think most of the difference has been me.
There's a lot of Cup teams looking at him right now, too.
2nd place, Matt Kenseth starting to run down Casey Mears. Matt Kenseth, the last couple of laps, has actually run lap times faster than Bobby Hamilton Jr.
Unfortunately, he's 6 seconds behind. I didn't have to bring that up, did I?
And now it's just got to be a frustrating part when you're faster than the guy in front of you, but just not fast enough to make a clean pass.
Well, I think what Matt will do is get as close as he can to Casey Mears and try to probably get him a little bit loose. But it looks like Casey's a little bit higher on the racetrack than Matt. I think if Matt can get close enough, Casey will drift up the racetrack a little bit and he'll get underneath him.
Couldn't do it there.
He's getting closer.
Casey Mears in that 19, giving Dodge its first ever Busch Series pole position when he took the top spot in qualifying yesterday. Been a great weekend for him so far. Started on pole, running 2nd right now here. He's going to start 4th in the NASCAR Winston Cup Tropicana 400 tomorrow, driving for Chip Ganassi. We're going to get it through the field for you when we come back and let you know where your favorite drivers are. Right now, while Casey's holding off Matt for that spot. They're all chasing Bobby Hamilton Jr. as we approach halfway here in Chicagoland. Back at Chicagoland Speedway, the caution has just come out. Mike McLaughlin has gotten into the wall off turn 4.
Oh, we're done.
5th yellow flag of this 300-mile race. Comes out with 47 laps to go, and just after the round of pit stops have been completed.
Well, that's an easy way for Matt to make up 19 seconds.
I'll be looking underneath us. Still got a whole line coming. Just keep driving. Just stay up there.
So a tough break there for Mike McLaughlin, who says he's going to run about a half a dozen more races in this car the rest of this season.
Whoop, blew a tire.
Fixed the left front tire.
Yep.
Remember, he had just taken right side tires on his pit stop to try and stay on the lead lap.
I wonder if he wore the left front out.
Dave Burns told us that. Dave, let me double check that with you, but you told us he had just gotten right side tires on his pit stop, right?
Say again, Alan.
34.
What was it you were wondering, Alan?
34 car. You told us McLaughlin had just gotten right side tires on his last pit stop, I believe. Was you
Alan, I'm sorry. I wasn't able to hear you there. On which car, sorry?
34, McLaughlin.
Right. 2 tires only for Mike. That's correct.
Yeah, so.
But he could also pick something up coming in or getting off after his pit stop.
But seeing the car go down the backstretch, it looked like the left front tire was still up. So I don't. Anyway,
something hanging there off the 19.
Tailpipe, maybe?
Like tailpipe is broken off.
It's the piece of plastic underneath the tailpipe.
Michael Waltrip, Johnny Sauter, Casey Mears. They're the guys pitting here, Dave.
Well, they are going to change right side tires and make a chassis adjustment on the 19 of Casey Mears at this point. Actually, they're going to change 4 tires, and it will be a track bar adjustment for him. Again, trying to make him just a little bit better through the corners here. He's great getting down the straightaway, but has had problems in the center of the corner.
They're going to have to come around. Sorry, Dave, but they're going to have to come around and get that piece off the side. The NASCAR official would not let them go back on the racetrack, so they're trying to peel it off right now.
As they shouldn't. They don't want something like that flying off of the car at speed at all.
Green flag. We're back to racing. 43 laps to go. Kenseth caught a tough break. If he could stay on the back bumper of Hamilton.
See what, BP, Matt was pretty fast here in those last laps before the yellow. He may give that 25 car a hard time.
Kenseth has to clear the lap car of Tony Raines first before he can pursue Hamilton Jr., and he gets by him there. I tell you, that 5 car Vickers has been pretty stout too, so we'll see if he's able to get around the lap traffic and mess around with the front too. So Hamilton Jr. quickly establishes a little bit of a gap on second place. Todd Bodine, one of the recent retirees from the race, is down in the garage area.
Todd, a valiant effort by your race team today. What finally put you out?
I think it started off by a broken head on a valve. Broke the valve head off, got the piston, and then it was all done from there. But Cottonelle, Cub Foods, Monte Carlo started off way too tight. Totally different car than practice. And well, I made a ton of adjustments, got it a lot better, but we were already a lap down and just trying to ride along there and get a decent finish. And thing broke on us, but it's a good race team. Thankful for Joe and those guys letting me drive. They're trying to get some points. Don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see.
You and Joe had a meeting yesterday about your future in this car. Will you run for the Busch Series Championship with a 7 car?
Well, right now we don't know for sure. I'd love to. It's a good race team, and Joe's a friend of mine. We've been friends a long time, and I'd love to have the opportunity. Going in today, I was only 43 points out, and now it's going to be quite a bit, so we'll just have to see what happens.
All right, Todd Bodine out of it today, but at least he ran the race, guys.
Going to finish 31st today, Marty. So tough luck there for Todd. Man, a huge attrition rate in this race.
That's a battle for the 7th position, Tony.
Oh, caution. Johnny Sauter, right in the middle of turns 3 and 4. And I believe Casey Kane might have gotten into some oil and got into the wall.
Down here, let's look at it real quick. Get the hood open.
You were saying, Alan?
Attrition rate. Yeah, I was just starting to count up the number of cars that were in the garage, and
it got too larger.
And we got 14 of them right now, and that list is about to grow. That's bad luck for Casey Kane.
Last week in Daytona. Crashed down the backstretch. Through really no fault of his own, and here he is again this week at Chicagoland. Through no fault of his own in the wall.
Second I have no brakes.
Have no brakes.
Shut the motor off. Just shut the motor off.
All right, this is going into turn 3.
You see this puff of smoke come out right there before he got to the corner. Now he's just hanging on. Car get real loose there. Probably in the fluids coming out of the pipe.
Yeah, right onto the rear tires.
You see Michael squeezed by down on the bottom.
Barely squeezed by.
And obviously there was fluid because Casey got in it. And
he and Michael might have bumped there, might have made some contact.
Yeah. Ventilated.
That's a nice job of driving by Johnny to hang on to that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Stay up, stay up, stay up. Caution's out, caution's out. Come on, come on, come on. Dig hard now, dig hard. Come on.
That confirms the
You're
fluids.
clear, buddy. You're clear.
Yeah. And of course, we have the automatic lens cleaner there on the camera, but
a lot of people don't.
Scott didn't have that on the windshield. Marty, I assume Johnny's not very happy and doesn't want to talk.
And that would be the case. He's going to go up in the hauler and shut the door. He was very animated when he got out of the car. Now, honestly, it wasn't 30 laps ago. He was praising this engine, so clearly it gave no indication just when all of a sudden his crew chief, Busch Hilton, said it just absolutely went from the bottom out. So it blew big, Wally, and you know when that does, when that happens, it is a big event.
Yeah, they, like I said, did a good job saving the car because all that stuff goes on your rear tires when you're down in the corner. So, and everybody behind them couldn't see and was sliding in it, so they did a good job too. Obviously, Casey had probably the worst of it, obviously, but a lot of other cars got through it.
David Green, the 37 car, falling back from this group of Hornaday, McMurray, and Bliss.
Bliss is going to take a shot at that yellow 1 car here in a second.
Mike Busch just wants to see the checkered flag today. Here's a guy that's had no luck for about the last month. Failed to finish 3 of the last 4 races. 3 accidents in that time. Actually, 4 of the last 5 had an engine failure in there also. It's dropped him from 4th to 11th in the championship. So Mike Bliss wants to see the checkered flag in one piece today to start with. 20, now 19 laps to go for leader Bobby Hamilton Jr. Why don't we take you through the field one last time, let you know where things stand for all of the front runners. Dave Burns.
Alan, before that last restart, Bobby Hamilton Jr.'s crew radioed to him. Now that 17 car is going to try to get it underneath you and loosen you up. And Bobby said, tell him to come and get it. Well, he never got anywhere close to him, Matt. On the last caution, Matt Kenseth's team tried to fake out everybody by saying, look, we are going to pit, hoping that maybe some of the other cars would. Nobody really bought it. He felt like this set of tires was his best all day. This was going to be their best shot to get the 25. Meanwhile, the 5 car, Brian Vickers, his car is really good by himself, but as soon as he gets into any kind of traffic, he picks up an aero-tight condition. Right now, just riding in the 3rd position. Marty?
Matt, scoot a little bit further back in the field, you'll find Michael Waltrip, who's still fighting a race car that is too tight. This set of tires just not matching his chassis set up like he would like. He said, hey, at least I've got one thing going for me. I found the 2nd groove, which he thinks will work tomorrow, Dave.
Casey Mears wanted to win today, but they are accomplishing their goals. The first 2 times they raced this car this year with Casey, he finished 15th and 28th after he started in the top 10. Today he runs in the top 5, just too loose to keep up with the front of the pack. Marty?
Dave, unbelievably, Jason Keller's in the 6th position, and he's the first car a lap down. That's how fast Bobby Hamilton Jr. is today. 2 tied off for Jason Keller right now. I just asked his crew chief, Steve Addington, and he said track position and qualifying killed us. It's our own fault today. Right behind him, Tony Raines in the 33 car is running in the 7th position. Nice run. He said, you know what? The car is pretty good. We're just not as fast as those guys in front of us. That's our only problem today, Matt.
The point leader, Scott Ricks, have been battling a tight race car. They have made huge adjustments on every stop, slowly getting it better, but the car is still tight, riding in the 8th position. Remember, 2-point lead. Every point today is going to be precious at season's end. Meanwhile, Jamie McMurray in the 1 car. His car has been pretty decent all day. No changes on the last stop. No adjustments. He is one lap down. Meanwhile, Mike Bliss, remember, he ran over that cone entering pit road earlier in the race. Still soldiering on in the 10th position. He hasn't had a top 10 finish since Dover.
And you can see on the pit stop that the crew was able to pull that front bumper out and get some of the downforce back on this 20 car. Has helped him immensely.
Did a pretty good job.
And now inside the final 15 laps of this 300-miler. Casey Kane checked and released from the infield medical center after getting into the wall during that last caution flag. Johnny Sauter had the oil come out from under his car, the engine failure. So good to see there. 18 cars in the garage area at the end of this one. So the two headline stories on the day, as far as I'll be concerned, looking back on this one, attrition. It's been a huge day for attrition and dominance for this driver, Bobby Hamilton Jr. and his race team. He has led 172 of 187 laps so far, and most of the laps he didn't lead were during an exchange of green flag pit stops, when it just took a while for things to cycle back around to him.
Wally, this car, the 25 car, was strong at Kentucky, but I don't think it was nearly as dominant as it is here today.
I don't know. It was pretty dominant in Kentucky.
He's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
The fastest car doesn't always win these races, and we've seen before things can happen in these things. It's still got 12 laps to go in this one.
He's still got 18 miles to go, exactly.
Yeah. But Hamilton Jr. is looking good for right now. 7th and 8th place there for Tony Raines and Scott Riggs. And up ahead for 4th place, Casey Mears getting it away from Michael Waltrip.
Casey's had a good run in that 19 car. Set on the pole, was fastest qualifier.
I thought that side skirt hurt him a little bit more, but doesn't look like it.
In position for his best ever NASCAR Busch Series finish. Previous best was a 5th at Talladega a year ago, April. And he's running 4th now. Scott Riggs, the championship leader, finally finishing the pass on Tony Raines for 7th. So Riggs is running in 7th. David Green is back at 11th. Riggs is going to hang on to his championship lead. Brian Vickers is going to gain some ground. He's running 3rd.
And obviously Bobby Hamilton Jr. is going to gain some ground.
It's really not going to change a whole lot. Ron Hornaday's running 12th. Todd Bodine's going to be the one who loses some markers today. The 4th place driver coming in is out of the race. And he's going to finish back in 31st place. So far this season, on every one of these NASCAR Busch Series races that's been run in conjunction with a Winston Cup race, one of the Winston Cup regulars in the event has taken the checkered flag. Hamilton Jr. looking to be the first one to outrun the invaders.
Ambushers. And he has done it in convincing form. Clearly the class of the field today.
25-year-old second-generation driver. His father, Bobby Hamilton, will go racing on his own later tonight in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series event in Sparta, Kentucky. He's qualified on the outside of the front row for that race.
5 to go when you get here now. 5 to go when you get here. Be smart on your passes.
That Ronnie Russell talking
Yes,
to Hamilton Jr.
Basically, what he's trying to say is just be careful when you come up on these slower cars. Give him a lot of room.
He's got 4 cars right in front of him, and he's also has a 4-second lead, so.
Dave?
Well, right before that radio transmission that you all heard, Bobby radioed in and said what his car was doing. He said it could be a little freer, tight in the center, free off. Now, they can't do anything at this point, really, before the end of the race, but those will be good notes for next year, wouldn't they, guys?
I hope not. Good notes for them, bad notes for the competition.
Can't get any better than it is right now. You know, only one NASCAR Busch Series race this season has been won by a margin of victory of more than 1 second. That was Jamie McMurray's win at Rockingham that he won by 1.9 seconds over David Green. Right now, Hamilton Jr. up by 3.8 seconds over Matt Kenseth. So we're going to have the most DNFs in a season, fewest cars on the lead lap this season, and largest margin of victory this season. We're going to have the most number of laps led. We'll have to look that one up. He's been up 183 of 197.
Two laps to go. Next time by. Okay, Steph, it's about time to come down and cheer.
This one's not as nerve-wracking as some of the ones in the past.
One of Kentucky, he battled Jason Keller right there till near the end.
Gentleman in the flowered shirt behind Stephanie is Sam Renzi. That's one of the other principal owners of the team.
The white now, good. It's smooth now. Where's 17? Coming out.
Where's 17? Long way back, Bobby.
4 seconds back. If you can't see him in your mirror, don't ask. Don't worry about it. White flag is up.
Buddy, bring it to the white. Give us one more.
Final lap at Chicagoland for Bobby Hamilton Jr. What a dominating performance. Jamie McMurray led 5 laps, Jason Keller 4, Casey Mears the first 2, Scott Riggs a couple, Brian Vickers 1. Most all of those laps led have been during green flag pit stops. Bobby Hamilton Jr. is going to lead 186 of 200 laps. He's going to get his second win in just a little over a month, and his third NASCAR Busch Series victory, a hometown win for the team owners. Hamilton Jr. takes the Tropicana Twister 300 at Chicagoland.
The only mistake today may be half flying, but any win is special, but is this one even more special, knowing who you beat and in such dominating fashion, Bobby?
I done an interview this morning, saying best thing we do is once we get these guys face in the mud, keep stomping. They put it there, and we did today. Hell of a job by Harold Holly. Hey, and I want to say welcome home all the Marines that came home here in the last handful of months, and hello job for the guys still out there. And this is for everybody here at Team Renzi. Gary Weissbaum, Ed Renzi, they live here, so they got a short ride home for a party tonight. And Sam Renzi, we love you, buddy. And
you got the whole family here now. She finally found Victory Lane.
She got here. She's been Victory Lane more than Indy Hamilton has, so it's pretty special. But here in Chicago to beat Matt Kenseth, that guy's the king over there. He's leading the Worcester Cup points, and my guys beat him today. So
has Harold Holly turned this team into a championship contender?
What do you think? 3 races, 2 wins? I think so.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. gained a lot of points today.
So nearly a wire-to-wire victory for Bobby Hamilton Jr., who led 197 of the 200 laps today. Matt Kenseth, a distant second place today, followed by Brian Vickers. David Green winds up number 11, followed closely by Ron Hornaday and Dave Blaney. Shane Meal comes in 16th on the day. Stacey Compton winding up 19th, and Coy Gibbs will come in 20th. Casey Atwood leading off for the third, Tana position number 21. As we check the rest of the standings, Lance Norrick in the number 30 car at 29th. Derek Cope, the Winston Cup veteran, comes in 33rd on the day, and a lot of cars did not complete all 300 miles today. A lot of wrecks in this one. Kerry Earnhardt and Joe Nemechek rounding out the rear of the field. Let's go ahead and look forward to our unofficial Busch Series points. And as you see, Scott Riggs holds on to his lead. He is still atop the Busch standings. That'll do it from Chicago. We'll see you next week in New Hampshire.